Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan. And today we bring you a roundup of all the Tottenham news. Not a lot to get through today, but what I will do is I'll deliver it nice and quickly and efficiently for you guys. And then we'll start getting some of the members on to have their say. So look, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. And the first bit of news is that Fabrizio Romano has confirmed on his Twitter account that Harry Winks has now accepted to join Sampdoria. Deal agreed on loan from Tottenham. It will be completed in the next days. Final steps to be discussed in the next hours. Then he will travel to Italy. Now, the loan deal does not currently have an obligation to buy or an option to buy. Before people start going mad, I would say it's probably more a reflection of Winks' ability rather than a reflection of Paratici's ability to negotiate, in my opinion. And look, I know everybody knows I have strong thoughts when it comes to Harry Winks, but look, at the end of the day, I wish the guy well. Hopefully he does well out there, and we all want to perform so that when it does become next summer and he's back at Tottenham, someone might actually be willing to depart with cash for this guy. And it's also been reported actually that Tottenham are actually going to pay the majority of his wages. So I think we're just looking to get him out the door at all costs, considering he's just no part of Antonio Conte's plan. And we have Dark Sun G, big up, brother. Appreciate the support, man. He says, come on, you Spurs. The Don has done it again. Sure, it's only a loan, but hopefully Winks does well so he could be sold next summer. Just need 2 more in for a great season. Yeah, 100%. Look, I mean, the Don, he's just clearing out all the deadwood, players that failed us over the last few years when given their opportunity. In Winks' case, I'll give him credit. Well, I struggle to give him credit, but I probably will give him credit in regard that he wasn't really a problem. Now, I don't agree with some of this stuff. Some people were saying, oh, he didn't moan, when he wasn't playing. I mean, you're very easy to forget, the press conference he done under Nuno after, I think it was the Vitesse game. Where he's basically moaning, saying, I need to be playing week in, week out, in order for me to put in good performances and stuff like that. And it's like, no, I think it's the opposite way around. I think no matter how many minutes you get, it's up to you to take it, to prove to the manager you're good enough so you get more minutes instead of expecting them just to give you minutes. And I think maybe that's where things probably went wrong, where this guy's like, I need a run of games. And it's like, don't have that, buddy, when you're not producing the goods in there. So, look, it's unfortunate the way it went for Harry Winks, but hopefully he does well over at Sampdoria, like I said, so that we can look to sell him next summer. Big up RII, big up Kev Williams, big up Mick Kermalock, big up Dermatron, big up Man K. Good to see you in the building. Big up Welsh Gal, big up Mark Tequila 316. Good to see you in the building. Are you on the shots early, my man? Celebrating Winks' departure, let me know. Paul says, big up Dave. Finally, Winks is gone. I mean, look, for me, and I don't really want to sound harsh on the guy, but it is starting to maybe put an end to the mediocrity that we have seen over the last couple of years. And we have to remember, a lot of these players that have been gone out the door under Paratici, I know fans love them, and I know fans really like them. You have to remember, a lot of these players brought us from a Champions League final all the way down to Europa Conference League. As much as they say the right things and they love the club, blah, 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 ultimately they failed us. They failed the club when called upon. So I'm actually glad that he's gone, because you can't keep having this guy here. And am I surprised we're not getting cash for him? No. I said this was going to happen. I was like, what manager around the world is going to look at his midfield and say, I've got a problem? Harry Winks is my answer. So I'm not surprised we failed to get money for this guy, because regarding what many people are saying, just the interest was not there. Hence why he's going out to Italy, out to Sampdoria. And look, maybe it might actually suit him out there. The game's a bit slower. He might even find himself with a bit more time on the football out there. So we'll wait and see how it pans out for him. Philo says, all the best, Winks. He is part of our academy, but just didn't cut it. Look, 100%, I get it. He's academy product, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, we're Tottenham Hotspur. We're a big football club in England, and a big football club across Europe. And you can't afford to hold on to players for sentimental reasons. At the end of the day, football is a ruthless business, and we've now got a ruthless director of football in with Paratici. So I mean, it's in line with the way the modern day game is going. And at the end of the day, this guy's 26. He's way past these development years, and he just lacked a lot in midfield that you need in the Premier League, in my opinion. So, look, I'm not going to sit here and berate the guy. He's gone. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why he's gone as well. But big up, Philo. We've got a D in the house as well. It says, bro, if Levy fails Conte, where do we go from here? Is the protest the only option then? Newcastle improving their starting 11. Even West Ham, Forest spending more. Your thoughts? Look, I'll be honest. I don't get this comparing us to teams that finished below us. The likes of West Ham, the likes of Newcastle, the likes of Forest. They all finished below us. We're in the Champions League. Forest had to spend the amount of money they have done. They spent outside of Barcelona and Chelsea. They spent the third most across Europe, I believe. And they had to. Their championship team coming up. So, I mean, that was more of a needs must. West Ham, look, they're bringing in Paqueta, but what other outstanding business have West Ham done this summer? Newcastle, they brought in that guy, Isaac. We had a chance to bring him in. They paid the same that we paid for Richarlison. And I know this guy's played in different leagues across Europe, but Premier League's a different animal. Richarlison has played in the Premier League. You know, he's got goals in the Premier League. He's proven. We paid 60 million for a proven player. And at the end of the day, I just don't get comparing us to the likes of West Ham, Forest or Newcastle, who finished below us. For me, I just don't understand it. Do I think we'll fail Conte? Remains to be seen. Look, me personally, I think we've had a decent window. It could be better, but I think we've had a decent window so far. And at the end of the day, this window was about getting rid of all the deadwood and the dross from the squad, because we've seen last season probably about 13 players you can pick from. So it was about adding to that this window. And then next window, you can start bringing in your specific targets for specific positions for big money, in my opinion. But I do big up, Adi. I do get what you're saying. Big up Reguillon, Smalley, Tubbs, Mark, Proto, Chris as well. Big up William Kelly. I know you and Chris are probably in tears that Winks is gone. Ian Till I Die. Ian Ferguson in Israel Uncovered. Big yourself up. But look, we will keep this moving. We'll get on to the next piece of news. And that piece of news, believe it or not, and many of you close your ears because I know you don't want to hear this, but Sky Sports Lyle reported earlier on that Tottenham have agreed a $2 million deal with Sheffield United to sign highly rated young striker Will Lancashire. The 17-year-old will join the academy after we blew Brentford out of the water with a hugely attractive offer. And this was a guy that was released by Arsenal last summer. Could he be the next Harry Kane? Because as we know, Harry Kane was released by Arsenal. Tottenham picked it up. And look what he's done for Tottenham Hotspur. And I bet Arsenal only wish they had someone like Harry Kane now. So could this be the next Harry Kane coming through? But what I will say, definitely got exciting options coming through. Dane Scarlett, Troy Parrott, young Jamie Donnelly, and now this guy as well. And this guy for Sheffield United's under 23s, played 16, 4 goals, but for the under 18s last season, played 32, scored 32. So he definitely knows where the net is. So it'll be exciting to see him in and around the under 21 squad this season. And as we know, you can watch them on Spurs Play. Next bit of news, guys, is that Atletico Madrid are interested in Sergio Reguillon. Fabrizio Romano today has said Atletico Madrid are changing their position on current player Renan Lodi. They are now open to let him leave in case a good loan proposal will arrive. Sergio Reguillon is one of their main options considered by Atletico Madrid to replace Renan Lodi, and it does. Nottingham Forest are looking at potentially bringing him in on loan. So it does look like if he goes there, it could hot up for Sergio Reguillon. And look, I'll be honest, I do hope this one is for cash. I mean, it would be nice to get some cash in the coffers before the transfer window closes and add to what we've already got and hopefully bring in another couple of players, which I will get onto in a few minutes about Antonio Conte's quotes today. But if I'm being honest, if they're looking to loan out Renan Lodi, and we know there's not much money around Europe right now outside the Premier League, it could end up being a loan to Atletico Madrid as well. So I'd brace yourselves for that. But Fulham and Lazio do also hold interest in Reguillon as well. So it'll be interesting to see if any of them will come in with a cash bid, more likely Fulham than Lazio, because as I said, money around Europe is very tight right now. So interesting there. The next bit of news I will bring you guys is that Brian Hill, basically it's been reported that, you know, he will be set to join Valencia once Tottenham find a replacement on the market. Again, this was by Fabrizio Romano today on a podcast he was on. He said this. So, and we also know Antonio Conte's comments, which I'll get to at the end, he wants 2 for every position. So I wonder, who we're lining up to let Brian Hill go out on loan. And Brian Hill wants to go because he wants to play first team football, and we do not want to hold him back. So fair is fair, I suppose. Let me just take a look at the comments before I keep busting through this news. I'm doing a good job today, pat on my own back. Dark Sun G says, look what happened to Delhi. He was shipped out to Turkey. Don's out. Bobo contract terminated. Delhi gave to Everton, Hart to Celtic, Sissoko to Watford, Toby to the Middle East, and Cameron Carter-Vickers to Celtic, Clark to Sunderland, and Stevie to Ajax. I get what you're saying, Dark Sun G. Me personally, I would like to take Toby out because he's actually been a very good servant to Tottenham down the years. So for me, I don't want to see him in that list. So I'm going to block that out of my eyesight if I'm being honest. But look, I mean, people look at maybe what Paratici has done this summer. Oh, has he done enough to get players out? You also have to remember the amount he had to get out last summer to completely dismantle what Steve Hitchen built, to start bringing in the players that we have brought in so far to this date. So you also have to take into account the amount he got rid of last summer as well. And when you look at the amount of players gone, and like for me, ripping up someone like Sergio Aurier's contract, it sends out a statement, And for me, I'm very happy with the business that Don Paratici has done in terms of the outgoings. We also have to accept the players that we may have loaned out this summer, we tried to get rid of last January. We probably tried to get rid of last summer, but there's been no takers because the high money we paid, the high money we're looking to recoup, plus the high wages these guys are on, and throw the pandemic in the mix, with clubs all around Europe maybe struggling to come out the other end of that. The clubs are being more stringent with their money. They're being more frugal with how they spend it. So with these guys, they're always going to take them on loan first to see if they come here and produce the goods, rather than splash the cash straight away. And when we loaned out the Celso, so we loaned out Ndombele, I mean, they didn't rip up any trees. So I'm not surprised they're being loaned out again. But if you look at all the players that we've got rid of, the players that, like I said, brought us from Champions League to Europa Conference League, Don Paratici has done a great job dismantling it. Argue with me otherwise, I'll listen to you. I might not necessarily take your points on board, though, if I'm being honest. But big up, Dark Sun G. Really appreciate the support, brother. Absolute top man. And I love the way you've been keeping tabs on this, by the way, all throughout the last year and a half. Dark Sun G has them written down on his whiteboard. Absolutely love it. I mean, Stevie had to go. Clark never could have at Tottenham, paid too much for him. I think it was genius getting money for Cameron Carter-Vickers, considering we've loaned him out for nearly 5 years. Getting Sissoko off the books was, for me, absolutely brilliant. I mean, look, that guy, all he could do was just run over players. He couldn't run by, couldn't run past them. He couldn't get the ball in control, couldn't pass, couldn't shoot. So for me, had to go. Joe Hart, all he done was organise cricket. I mean, we're losing, and we're seeing videos coming out of the squad enjoying themselves playing cricket. I mean, it was driving me absolutely demented. And that guy was behind it, apparently. So for me, thank God he's gone. No wonder why his career's gone down the Swanee and he no longer really wins too many trophies. Barry had to move to Scotland to do it, purely because if that's his attitude, when you're losing, let's have a break and play cricket in the changing rooms when we should actually be working harder. I mean, it's absolutely a no-brainer to get him gone. Dele Alli, I mean, hopefully now people understand why I was on about it for 3 years solid, because I could see this happening, him being shipped out to Besiktas, could see it happening all day long. And for everyone that wants to criticize Jose Mourinho, he called it. Said to Dele, you need to cop on, because before you know it, your career will be over. Look what happens. Now he's out in Turkey with a few hundred people waving at him. A superstar out in Turkey and a forgotten man, where it counts in England. And that's his career at the end of the day. And yeah, so big up Dark Sun G. Really appreciate support. Big up Adrian Schraka. Big up Ellie. Good to see you in the building. Philo says Emerson scored 8 goals and 12 assists on Football Manager for us this season. Hopefully he can do it again in real life. It's a big ask, my man. It's a big ask. Big up Michelle Gain as well. West Ham are making better signings than us. I really hope we don't fall short. Just saying. Yeah, look, I don't think so, if I'm being honest. I think, look, we will get top 4, I think, and I'll be honest, I'm not worried about West Ham. I'm really not, to be honest. I mean, we've said this before. We said this last summer. We said it January. All these other teams done better signings than us, but we proved our signings were enough to get us top 4 last January. So for me, I would err on the side of patience, if I'm being honest. But I do get what you're saying, Michelle. But big yourself up. Really appreciate you tuning in. We've also got Bill as well. Big up, Bill. Big up Morlor, big up Kuva99, big up KM Hong as well. Good to see you. Dark Song G says Winks loan to Sampdoria, Tanguy loan to Napoli, Giovanni Lo Celso loan to Villarreal, Gil to Valencia on loan. The Don has done so much in so little time. We will go far with Don Paratici. Just give me 1 second, Dermot. I need to refresh the palate. Or sorry, and Dark Sun G, I need to refresh the palate with my mountain fresh water. Caught today, by the way. Oh, that's good. That is good, my man. I mean, look, it just speaks wonders. You know, getting out Tanguy and the belly, Giovanni Lo Celso, massive money we spend. No team's going to come in even for half that. They know the problems with Tanguy and the belly. Why would you even put 20 million on a guy? It's a gamble. You may as well go to Las Vegas and put that money on red or black at the end of the day. You know, it's just same with Giovanni Lo Celso. You just don't know what you're going to get from them. Gil, look, I don't really want to put him in that category because for me, I don't think the kid's been given a chance at Tottenham. So, but I do get what you're saying. And look, I said this for me. I think Paratici coming in here, I call for someone to come in on the footballing side of things who knows what they're doing. And for me, I think Tottenham are benefiting and reaping the rewards from that. I know some people would argue differently, but I guess we'll have to wait to the end of the season for that answer, Dark Sun G. But I'm with you. I mean, I can smell what the Don is cooking, Dark Sun G. Big yourself up, brother. And the last one here from Dark Sun G, and I'm going to move on to the last bit of, not last bit, but another bit of news. Dark Sun G also says, I put Toby in because we got money for him, which I thought was a great deal. Sure, I miss him, and he was our best centre-back, but it was worth it because of his age. Dark Sun G, just give me 1 minute. I'm turning off my camera because my chair, I don't know if people have seen, but I've been getting lower and lower and lower. So I just need to pump it back up. So just give me 1 second, guys. As you can see, I'm still here. You can still hear me. Yeah, and that's done. I'm back down now, so I am back. Absolutely love that. Not going to plan today, but here we are. Yeah, I get why you included him. I mean, it was nice to get money for him. But, yeah, I just think, you know, let's not include players that have done a service to Tottenham, unlike some of them other players. It's just not right to see Toby's name in amongst them. It really is not, my man. But I do understand why you put him in there. Like you, I mean, I miss him. Imagine we had Jan and Toby Alderweireld in this defence now with Romero. I mean, teams will probably win the Premier League with that defence, if I'm being honest. And I've always said, Premier defence wins you titles. You know, forwards win you games at the end of the day. Imagine what we could do with these guys. And when people hear me giving out about the likes of Dyer and Davies and Sanchez, and about, you know, certain things they lack. The reason why I do it is because I compare them to the likes of Jan, to the likes of Toby, and what they've offered us in terms of on the ball and defensively and aerially as well. I just think they're so much far superior than these guys, and that's why I get frustrated with these guys. But look, you know, if the transfer window closed, I'll lay off their case until they piss me off again, if I'm being honest, and I can't be much fairer than that. But big up, Dark Song G, brother. Really appreciate the support, my man. But look, actually, take this. Adita has replied, says, Dave, I agree with you. Paratici has done some bad things, some good signings as well. I just think he struggles in selling players, in my opinion. You were disappointed we didn't get Milinkovic-Savic. Look, in terms of outgoings, I have no problem. Like I said, you know, he had to knock down what Steve Hitchen built. It was only going one way. Champions League final, Europa Conference League, where next? Bottom end of the table? Bottom half of the table? You know, he had to get rid of players whatever way he can. And I don't mind. Even if these players are loaned out, it frees up wages to get other players in. So I do not mind that one bit, if I'm being honest with you. I'm actually glad with the work he's done in terms of outgoings. In terms of incomings, I mean, people are very quick to forget. We also, not only is he in charge of building the first team, but he also has to rebuild the academy. He's got people in place in the scouting department, signing youngsters for the academy and everything else as well. So for me, I'm actually happy with what he's doing in terms of incomings. Look, he was never going to build everything in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, so I don't see why I was surprised. I get some people questioning his model, but at the end of the day, he has to look out for Tottenham's future. He has to rebuild the old scouting department, plus bring in players that are good enough from the academy to hopefully try and make a stint at the first team and improve the first team. He's got a lot of work to do at Tottenham. And the amount that he's done over the last year and a half, or maybe not even a year and a half, under a year and a half, for me, I'm actually happy with the business that he's done, to be honest with you, Adita. But like I said, again, I understand people that question it, and I understand their points as well. And like I said, we'll have to wait to the end of the season to see who's right. Our Green 216, good to see you in the chat, my man. Great to see you. We have Kuva. He says, our transfer policy has been so bad that we actually celebrate players leaving. How many other clubs do that? A pre-match pump up, Dave. Yes, Kuva. Sunday, my man. I will be in contact, brother. I will be in contact. But back to this. Look, I'm not celebrating the player leaving, but I think you will agree it is nice to see some of these players go. I mean, would you rather celebrating these guys leaving who brought us from Champions League to Conference League, or would you rather still be sitting here giving out about them and swearing about them and, going mad about these guys? The fact that he's getting these guys out is a good thing, surely, no? And look, I get you're frustrated with the business coming in, and I hear you. I do hear you. But you have to remember, we had such an amazing start to this transfer window. At some stage, it was always going to slow down. And I didn't think it was going to come to a halt the way it has. But what I will say is err on the side of caution. We still have a couple of days left of the window. And let's see what happens. I mean, I don't think it's over by any means, Kuva. But I take your point, my man. Big yourself up. We've got RAI, and then we've got Ellie, and then I will crack into some more news for you guys. And then we've got Dermatron and Paul G. Sorry, Paul G, then Dermatron. Excited to speak to the two boys both. RAI says, who was better player in Pochettino era, Tanguy or Winks? I started supporting from Jose era. I mean, look, Tanguy I don't think really featured under Pochettino. I know he's brought in towards the back end of Pochettino, but he wasn't fit when he got here. It was Jose Mourinho that had to run around parking blocks for him to get that guy fit, which is embarrassing. So, by what's the right word to use here? By process of elimination, you've got to give it to Winks, but that's not really saying anything. This was a guy that Pochettino compared to Iniesta, Xavi at Barcelona, that sort of player. And I mean, the guy is worlds apart from that. But by process of elimination, I suppose you've got to give it to Harry, if I'm being fair, my man. If I'm being fair. But beat yourself up, lad. But he didn't rip up trees by any part of the imagination. Now, credit to the guy. He was a part of the Champions League team that did get us the Champions League final. How him and Sissoko's midfield partnership got us there from that January onwards. When Moussa Dembele was sold because his knees were cropped, same as Wanyama, out injured most of that season because his knees were cropped. I do not know, but somehow they got us there, and credit to them. But at the end of the day, we could all see what they were lacking in midfield as well. So, but credit to Winks, he put in a great performance against Real Madrid that time. One game out of I don't know how many, I can't even remember at this stage, but credit to the guy. Big up RAI. Ellie says, Dave, my man, you're not only Ireland's #1 fan. Most tell people, Dave, you are the biggest heart. You're so caring and such a genuine lad, and I just needed everyone to know I have the utmost respect for you. Ellie, I love you too. Big yourself up. Really appreciate that. Too much kind words. You're going to set me off here, Yara. I don't know how to take it. I'm blushing and everything else, but I really appreciate Ellie. But I also think the world of you, and you know that. So big yourself up, Ellie. And she's doing great work over on THFC Till I Die as well. Very enthusiastic about it. Puts in the hours as well. So guys, do get over there, check that out, and show her your support and love. Just like she's showing myself and Jack and so many other people around this Tottenham community. She's an absolute trooper. Big up, Ellie. And we've got this from Dark Song G says, the only salty thing is that Winks leaves too late, that our new midfield boss, Basuma, is stuck with 38 unless he can change his number mid-season. Look, I'm not sure Tottenham will look to change his number. I think when they release the numbers, I think that will probably be it for the season. And partly because I think Tottenham might be too tight to take the jerseys back and replace it with Basuma for free, if I'm being honest. But look, that's another thing. If Winks knew he was going, which he did because he was told before pre-season, you're not part of my plans, you're staying at home, he should have offered up the number 8, especially as a Spurs fan. He knows we all wanted to see Basuma wear that 8. He knows Basuma wanted it, so he probably should have offered it up, if I'm being honest, Dark Son G. But big yourself up, and hopefully it would be nice to see Basuma roaming around in that midfield, bossing it with that number 8. And look, maybe change his name from Basuma to Bamusa, because I liken him to Moussa Dembele, so hopefully he can get to that level, Dark Son G. Big up, brother. And then we'll take this from Timman007, and now we'll complete the news and start getting on some lovely guests. Timman007, Mr. James Bond, good to see you in the building. Says, first of all, repeating what Ellie said, you're a top gent, Dave. But for me, a successful window is not seeing Sanchez, Dyer, and Davies in our first team. First of all, Tim, man, great to see you, brother, and really appreciate the kind words. You're a top man as well. You've been around and supporting this channel for quite some time, and I really do appreciate it. Even when out of lockdown and life's gone back to normal, all of you guys still tune in here, which I still find amazing. So thank you very much. But do you know what? On this, I actually agree with you, Tim, man. I mean, look, I'm not going to go too deep into Sanchez, Dyer, and Davies today because, to be fair, I'd probably give them enough airtime. But I agree with you. But also at the same time, ask yourself, is it for a lack of trying? Now, me personally, and this is just my opinion, I don't think so. When I look at, all the defenders we have been linked with over this window, okay, none of them materialised. But I don't think it's been for the lack of trying. I just think that our number one options or preferred options have not been available. And then what do you do then? Do you make the same mistakes that we've continued making down the years, getting 4th, 5th, 6th choice just to get them in? Or do you wait for your first choice to become available, a bit like what Liverpool done with Virgil van Dijk, couldn't get in that summer? Wait till January and look at the impact he had. And you ask yourself, if they would have got, another player, would he have had the same impact? Would Liverpool have been able to go on and do what they've done without him? I'm not so sure. But I do agree with what you're saying, Sanchez, Dyer, and Davies. And to be fair, look, we have brought in Langley. He had an injury last week. I'm pretty sure he will probably end up replacing Davies in the starting lineup because he's so much better on the football. You put Romero, he's out injured, but he will be back for West Ham. As far as I understand, it's more of a precaution against Nottingham Forest that he won't be playing. So he'll be back in there beside Sanchez. Does that defence then look too bad? No, I still would like an upgrade on Dyer, but where it does become costly again, or where it will become costly further down the line, is if we do get injuries to Langley and Romero, and we do have to keep rolling this out every single game. And that's where it becomes costly. Look, Sanchez, people tell me he can come in and do a job when there's an injury or two for a couple of games. But what if we get a long-term injury and this defence is rolled out week in, week out? That's my problem. But we'll wait and see what happens. What I will say is, Japhet Tanganga, it's still mooted that he might leave. And Antonio Conte has said today in his press conference he wants 2 players for every position. Now, when I look at the squad, we currently don't actually have a centre-back backup for Eric Dyer. So does that mean we're working on one of them towards the closing days of the window? Time will tell. I do not have the answers, which is unfortunate. I wish I did because it'd help me sleep a lot better at night time. Tim Man 007. But we'll wait and see. But Tim Man, get in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. Do you see us bringing in one before the end of the window? I would love to know, my man. But big up, brother. And really appreciate the support, my man. You're a top man. Big yourself up. Now we'll move on. I've just got 2 more bits of news for you guys. This is more concerning club news. And it is that Conte confirmed today in his press conference that Romero and Skip will miss the trip to Forest, saying Romero's recovery is going well and he is expected to be training with the rest of the team next week. He'll miss the Forest game, as will Skip, and who will also be back training next week. Now, interestingly, Moura and Gill missed today's training and a decision will be made on them tomorrow, the Forest game. Now, what I will say, it's reported that Moore has come down with an injury, but we've all seen the pictures during the week. It was his birthday, and even Dane Scarlett rolled back from Portsmouth to attend it. So I'd say that illness is probably more so a hangover, if I'm being quite honest. So can he recover from his hangover in time for the Forest game? I hope so. And if he does that then mean Gill might be left out because we have the option of Moura and Richarlison? Remains to be seen. But with Gill, it's more of where's his head at? We know he wants to leave Tottenham. He is pushing for that move. I think the reason why he says Gill is potentially, if Moura doesn't make it, Gill will probably be his replacement on the bench, I'm guessing. But what's interesting, an Argentinian journalist was actually reporting that Romero was available for this trip a few days ago, but it's since come out and it's since been understood that it's more precaution that he's being left out because they want him to swing Antonio around again like he did last season when he played him. So that is good. And then the last bit, guys, is what Conte said when asked about transfers. And when he was asked about transfers in press conference, he said, if there are any players leaving, we need players to come in. You know very well, and the club knows very well, the importance for me to have a squad with 2 players in every position. So, like I said, when you look at the back, backup maybe for Dyer, potentially. And maybe that probably means another backup for one of the players in the forward areas. Now, what I will say to people is Harry Winks will not be replaced. Charlie Eccleshare did report saying that Tottenham will not replace Winks, as they were expecting him to leave anyway, and I presume Bizuma was his replacement. Now, what it does make it interesting is, does that now mean Papa Matastar is staying around as the fifth option and we might not actually be looking for that midfielder? We'll wait and see. But when you look at the squad, you're probably looking at someone to replace Gill and maybe a backup for Eric Dyer, in the words of what Conte says, two for every position. Now, if that doesn't happen, has Antonio Conte got what he asked for? Well, that's something we'll have to start debating when the window closes, because as we know, we will not know until the window closes. It's probably too late by then. But that's, I think, when you start asking the questions. Has he got what he wants? Considering these words here. Very, very interesting. But guys, let me know in the chat what your thoughts are on today's news, and I will keep this moving while bringing up comments. And let's get on the first guest. First time call in as well. He's been patient with me. He's been waiting a while, but let's get him on. And it's my man, Paul. How are you keeping, brother?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, my man. It's Friday, coming up to the weekend. Spurs playing Sunday. I'm in a good mood. But, I mean, how are you keeping?
Yeah, exactly the same. Not too bad. Obviously, we've got a bank holiday weekend, so can't complain. All is good.
No, that you can't. But look, Paul, what do you make on the Tottenham news today? I mean, Harry Winks leaving, first of all. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what? I feel a slight injustice to Harry Winks. Not majorly. I probably have the same sort of opinion as yourself. I think he obviously had the Champions League run, which was incredible, obviously, for us back then. And I think, give and take his Tottenham career, it's been a lot less favourable than it has been for other players. But generally speaking, it's time for him to move on. I think it's been time for him to move on for a few years now. And I'm glad he's finding the team. It's all well and good slating Harry Winks, for what he's done to the team. But equally, he Spurs through and through. So good luck to him.
Yeah, no, look, as much as I really don't like the guy, I think he's a serial loser, if I'm being honest. But good luck to him. I mean, I do hope it works out for him. I really do. Like, there's certain players I don't like, Lo Celso, like Ndombele, because they just came here and took the piss. But with Winks, it's not like he took the piss. He just was not good enough. So I do hope it works out for him. Now, interestingly, what do you make of Antonio Conte's words when asked about transfers? I mean, he says he wants two for every position. If we don't fill that two for every position, then the people that are skeptical of this window, do you think they're right then?
I think we've had a good window. I don't think we've had the best window. I think we've had a good window. I think it started incredibly well. I think as the days and weeks have sort of filtered by and other clubs are buying big players, our window looks less favourable than others. I'm not concerned at all. I think we've bought well. I think Perisic, Basuma, obviously fantastic buys. Generally speaking, I'm impressed. I'm struggling to see where we get two in each position unless we shift out a few more. But equally, I'm not concerned with Dyer. Slightly more concerned about Sanchez. But
why don't you tell me why you're not concerned with Dyer? Enlighten me. What am I missing?
I don't think he's missing much. I think he's hard working. I think he's Tottenham through and through. I think he's dedicated to the team. I think he's willing to learn. You know what? When you've got a manager like Conte, you can only progress. And I think generally speaking, I think there will be a few more, but I'm not concerned. I think it's been a good window. We certainly need another top centre back. But yeah, generally speaking, I think it's been a good window. I think it needs to speed up. It's certainly slowed down over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got 6 or 7 days, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah, look, I hope we can do something, Paul. Do you see Tottenham acting in maybe the last 6-7 days of the window? Because look, to be fair, on transfer deadline days over the last while, it's been non-existent. I mean, you get a
Yeah.
couple of new contract renewals, some youngsters going out on loan, but not enough of incoming. So do you think Tottenham will break that trend and actually do something towards the end of this window?
I think we have to. I think what we're going to see is a few more outgoings, and naturally we have to have a few more incomings. I think if he's prepared to say what he's saying, whereby we need a strong squad, obviously we've got the 5 substitutes. I think we have to. I think we have to bring a few more in. Who? I don't know. Obviously, there's been a decent window. Spence, where does he stand now? I don't know. Obviously, given the rumours of what's been circulating, and he's sort of been unhappy to go on loan and X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to bring a few more in.
Yeah, I do too. I think, look, for me, just purely on Conte's words there, you've got to be looking for that backup centre-back. Gill does want out, so you've got to be looking at bringing in another option for him, in my opinion. So it would be nice to, and I think it would be a shame not to bring in maybe another 2 players before the end of the window, considering we started off on fire. We started off so well and gave ourselves nowhere near as much to do as potentially we could have left ourselves to be done. So for me, it would be nice to really put the icing on the cake and bring in that 1 or extra 2 players and really fill out this squad and give Conte everything he needs. Because, Paul, we have to remember now, from now, practically up until the World Cup, we're playing 2 games every single week. Weekend, midweek, back to weekend, midweek. So, and Conte alluded to it in his press conference as well. He said to Paratici, today, he was saying this in his press conference. He said, I said to Paratici, sign of as a good squad is when you're playing 2 games a week and you can handle it. So it'd be very interesting to see, over the next while if we've done enough in this window. But Paul, looking ahead to Forest, I mean, Romero and Skip out, but there's also been a lot of talk about maybe potentially dropping Son. And I know Conte said in his press conference today that it's not really an option. But I mean, what's your thoughts going into Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, I think the thoughts going into Forest, I think it's a good time for Romero to be out, so to speak. I think we can deal with Forest without Romero. With all credit to Forest, they have started the season well, but I think if Romero's going to be out, it's a good time for him to be out. Skip, I think, of course, we miss. Look, Skip's a great player, but equally, when you've got the centre mids that we've got, I'm not overly concerned. I think we'll win against Forest by 2 goals. I think it will be 2-0 personally. But yeah, I'm not overly concerned. I think it's a good time, as I say, for Romero to be out if it's going to be out. And I think that's what Conte knows. You know what? If it's a big game and he's 75% fit, who knows what Conte would do? Does he put him in? But I think it's a good time, and I fancy our chances. We've got a decent run now for the next few games, and let's see where we go from there.
Would you be concerned if we didn't dominate the game, considering, off the back of Wolves, where we didn't dominate that game for large parts. We were kind of outplayed, and same as Chelsea. So would you be concerned, the newly promoted team, I think, 17, 18 signings now, would you be concerned if we did not go up there and dominate this game? Even though, may I add, actually, sorry, Paul, that they've actually won 13 of their last 16 home games and have turned around the last 3 Premier League teams that visited. Arsenal last season in the FA Cup, Leicester last season in the FA Cup, and West Ham at the start of this season already.
Yeah, I think we need to dominate. I think we need to put on a good performance. Obviously, we know as Spurs fans, the performances haven't been the scratch this season. We certainly haven't performed good enough. We've got some decent results. Chelsea, good result, obviously beating Wolves, but the performances weren't there. So yeah, I think we need a good performance. We need to dominate from minute 1. And I think we will. I think we will, Dave. I think we're due a good Son performance. It's been poor this season, let's be honest. I think we're due a very good performance, and I'm confident we will. I really am. I think it's due.
I'm confident as well. For me, when I look at it, Paul, I think for the first 20 minutes, Tottenham don't usually go too well. We usually take a bit of time to get into the game. Plus, I think it's a purpose play by Antonio Conte, and this happened a lot last season as well. First 10 minutes, we kind of tend to sit back and relinquish possession and draw the opposition onto us rather than dominate it from minute one and entice them to sit back. So I do think it's purpose ploy, but when I look at Nottingham Forest, we're the first big team to go to the City Ground, since the last time they were in the Premier League. Because Arsenal and West Ham, as we know, Paul, they're not big teams. I think their crowd will be well up for it. I think they'll be well oiled for the game as well. 4:30 kickoff, so it'll be a raucous atmosphere. I just think we need to avoid any sort of goals conceded in the first 20 minutes. And after that, I think we'll end up growing into the game and we'll probably go on and steamroll them. I think we'll have way too much quality. I don't really envision Nottingham Forest causing us too many problems. Now, look, I understand they do shoot on sight. I mean, I've watched them last couple of games. Any opportunity to get, it doesn't matter from where, they will have a crack. So it'll be interesting to see whether they employ that tactic again or whether they actually fancy themselves playing through our backline. But their backline is their weakness at the minute. And as we know, they're looking for Serge Aurier to come in and help improve things along there. I mean, I don't know what they're doing there. I really don't. It's an absolute shambles. But Paul, before we let you go, brother, I mean, what do you make of the work that Paratici has done? As you can see in the chat here today when I'm going through it, it's very divided. Some very happy with the outgoings and the incomings, and some very unhappy with the outgoings because this season they've been loans and some of the incomings. So, I mean, where do you sit on that?
I think the incomings are positive. I think you can't slander Paratici's work in terms of the incomings. Look, we've brought in Perisic for free. We've got Basuma, in my opinion, for a snip. When you consider the market these days, we've bought well. I think Richarlison's will turn out to be a good buy. I think at the moment we can clearly see when he comes on, he's very positive. He does what he does. I think the incomings have been fantastic for Tottenham. We just need to get 2 or 3 more. I think the outgoings were inevitable. I don't think clubs have the money. They don't have the money to go and buy a Tanguy, to buy Lo Celso. Yeah. They want to loan them. They want to see what's happening. They want a 12-month window where they can see how they perform. I feel a little bit sorry for Gil, to be totally honest with yourself. I think he hasn't been given a fair crack of the whip. I think he's a decent player, and I think he could probably perform well at Tottenham or a Premier League club at that. He just hasn't been given a fair crack. But generally speaking, look, let's get them on loan. Let's hope they perform. Let's hope they perform, because that's the best thing as a Tottenham fan right now is you want to hope that Tanguy and Lo Celso perform in their respective clubs. Yeah, they perform incredibly well, and they've got the option to buy and see you later. That's what we can hope for.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, I may be biased because I tend to agree with you, but I think your analysis has been very, very fair, Paul. Anything else you want to touch on before we let you go, brother? It's been good chatting to you, by the way. It's been a long time too.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think let's not be too negative about the window. I think it's been a good window. It's not been the best window. It's certainly been a good window. But there's times, a week to go. I think let's see how we progress. I think there's a couple more to bring in. We've obviously got Sarr and Destiny to sort of break through. And let's just see. Let's see where we go from here. But I'm positive for the season. And I think, you know what? Let's break the hoodoo and let's win a trophy.
I love it. Well, look, do you know what, Paul? Before you let it go, I'm going to make you stick your neck on the line. Give me a season prediction this season. What's coming? What should we expect?
I think a trophy. I'm going to throw my neck on the line. I think an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. Yeah. And I'm going to say we're going to finish 3rd.
Absolutely love that. 3rd. Look, I'll be honest. I want more ambition, Paul. I want to say 1st, but I suppose you are looking at it fair rather than through my eyes as a Spurs fan. Someone that just believes we should be winning it every year. But Paul, I mean, I want to say a massive thank you to you for coming on. Hopefully, we see a lot more of you around here and a lot more of you coming on. I've really enjoyed this conversation with you, brother.
Yeah. You too, Dave. Take care and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Paul. Big yourself up. What an absolute legend. Everybody, give Paul a lot of love in the comments. It's not easy coming on for your first time. And, it was great to have a chat with him. And I think we'll all agree. I think we all enjoyed what he had to say. So big up, Paul. We have a few super chats to get to, and then we've got Dermatron, and then we've got Ryan, and then, guys, I will be ending off because I have to head over to the cheese room. Myself and Jack are on there tonight at 9 p.m. Wolf Mauler says, what is wrong with Skip? He's still recovering from that injury that he had last season, Paul. So he's still recovering from that, basically, my man. Wolf. He's still recovering from that. So, and look, from what I read last week, it was saying that we were expecting him back at the end of the month. So he's returning to training next week, according to Conte. So hopefully that is true, because we do need Skip in there. It'd be a great addition to have off the bench or starting. And like I said, with the games coming in twice a week between now and the World Cup, every week as well. I mean, we need everybody fit and available, because we've seen with Liverpool how injuries can really, really cost you and how they can really, really affect you. So big up, Wolf. Hopefully we get Skippy back, my man. Dark Sun G says, I hope that we get 2 deadline day signings like Kulu and Bentancur. Do you know what, Dark Sun G? I mean, I think it would be... I'm not sure you can replicate bringing in 2 signings like that will have as much of an impact as they had between January and the end of the season. But I get where you're thinking. You want signings along to that, and 100%, I think we all do. I think, another player in the forward area or slash midfielder, and definitely a centre back. And I think you'll see a lot more Spurs fans really, really happy with this window. But it'd be interesting, like I said, 7 days to go. I mean, it'd be very interesting to see what happens. And if what I will say is, if Conte doesn't get what he's asked for, you're going to see a very, very unhappy Spurs fan base, in my opinion. And you'll see a very unhappy Conte. And how long does that play out for? How long does that last? Who knows? But, I mean, the quotes are there from today. He wants 2 players for every position. So anyone that goes out has to be replaced. So from my understanding of his quotes, he's happy with what we have, because he's got 2 for every position, including Tanganga, if you want to include him as a backup from the back line. So if Tanganga and Gill goes, that means he wants them replaced. So interesting. I mean, 7 days, it could end up being everything we want, or it could be everything that we've feared and dreaded. So we'll have to wait and see, Dark Sun G. Hopefully it's the first one. Big up Colin Turner, brother. Really appreciate the support, my man. I don't see a comment in there from you after, but if it's just to support the channel, big yourself up, lad. Really appreciate it, Colin. And you always do this, my man, but why don't you come on the show and speak to me sometime? Come on here. I don't bite. I'm a friendly guy. I'm full of smiles most of the times. So hopefully you can come on here one day and speak to me, my man. Big up, Colin. And then Wolves F1 sending in the smiley emoji. I'm not sure whether that's because you want us to hammer Forest or not, because I believe they're close enough to Wolves. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm not sure what that smiley face is for, Wolves. Sorry, not F1, Wolves Finland. I had this with him before because I wanted to get to the bottom of it. But Wolves, if that's not the case, do let me know in the chat, my man, and I will get one of your comments up. So I will. Just let me know in the chat, brother, but big yourself up. And then we've got Corey Boy 85, new YouTube member. Big up, Corey. Really appreciate the support, my man. Absolute top man. I really, really do appreciate it. Absolutely every little helps on what me and Jack are trying to achieve here. And all we're trying to do is just create a fan channel like you see so many of the big ones out there, and keep giving fans voices along the way, and hopefully have many varied opinions on debates, on the fan shows, on everything we try and do, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. I'll never shoot someone down for having an opposite opinion to me or seeing things the opposite side to me. I will challenge it if I don't agree with it, but I'll never shoot you down, because I'm a big believer everyone's entitled to their opinion. So big up, Corey, and my man. I'm sorry, but I am pushed for time today, but I do hope I see you on the fan show on Monday night, my man. Big yourself up, brother, and big up, and really appreciate the support, lad. And then we have Neville Murrigan all the way in from, where is that again? South Africa. Big up, my man. Really appreciate the support. I haven't seen you in a few weeks. I hope you are doing good, brother. I hope things are good for you over there. He says, hey, Dave, I'm from South Africa. My son and I will be in North London for Spurs versus Gunner in January. Tickets bought. Flight sorted. Lad, how'd you get your hands on them tickets? I've been trying to get some, my man. How are you getting them that early? You must have a little trick. Let me know, brother. And he says, flight sorted, dream come true. Cost me, but it's worth it. My dream coming true. I presume this is probably your first game you're coming over for. So, my man, what better way to do it for a North London derby? And believe me, I've been lucky enough to get to one or two over my time, and they are the best games to go to. I mean, you've seen the atmosphere last season when we played them at home. You know, even before the game, hours before the game, many people getting time off work to create that. You are going to absolutely adore it at home. Make sure you get down to the stadium early, because you won't be able to get down there too early because it'll be building up. And make sure you also get into the ground early. You know, get cheer on these players. It's going to be electric. Trust me. You think your dream has come true now? Wait until you're there, and then wait until you're reflecting on your flight home. You will not believe it. In fact, you might even shed a tear, my man, but you will enjoy yourself. And look, I'll be honest, I'm hoping to be over there for that. If I am, it'd be a pleasure to meet you and your son. You know, maybe meet me for a pint. We'll give the son, if he's underage, we'll give him a fizzy, and we'll get you a drink if you do drink, my man, and we'll have a conversation. It'd be nice to meet up with your brother over there if I can get over for that game. But if not, we are talking TV, Ellie, you know, there'll be loads of people there. So, you know, I'll make sure that they'll let you know where they are and you can go and meet them, my man. But big yourself up, Neville. What commitment. And it is not cheap to get all the way over from South Africa either. So that is tremendous commitment. So big yourself up. And anybody else that is going and maybe wants to meet Neville, or maybe, you know, can help show him around and stuff like that, get in the chat and let him know. Big up, Neville. Hopefully you and the son really, really do have a good time. We've got Sebas Wolf says, David, do you think we'll get a dam? And if so, how would you feel about Mr. Baby Oil in the bench? In my opinion, he's not good enough, but better have him and then play against them. I'll be honest, I think you're probably putting yourself in the same category of what people probably think of Emerson. Look, Adama Traore, skin players get you down the wing, got that lovely baby oil, and that helps him not being able to be grabbed and pulled back. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have end product. I'm not sure he's an improvement on what we have. You know, Lucas Moura, kind of the same. Emerson, some people say he's sort of the same as well. Is he better than them? I'm not so sure, Sebas. I'm really not so sure. Me personally, I'd be looking elsewhere if I'm being completely honest. I don't want your dreams to be crushed by me or anything like that. Now, it could end up that Spurs might end up going in for him late over the next couple of days. We'll wait and see. But for me, I'm not so sure, my man. And then Corey Boy 85 says, wish I had the chance to make a channel up, but a single dad, and now without a PC as my son spat his drink into it when I was on last week. It's hard to find time and money to replace my PC, my man. Look, brother, 100%. I get it. I mean, we've all been there with the troubles, things breaking when you least need them to break. You know, it's tough. It is tough, man. We've all been there. But what I will say to you, if you've got a good mobile phone, my man, it will not stop you. I built this channel to 3.5K on this beautiful mobile phone here, and screen is cracked and everything else, but I don't want to replace it because I'm very sentimental with my things. So if you have a good phone, you can still do it on that, my man. If you ever need any help, advice, or anything like that, all the links to get in contact with me are below. Just get in contact, and I'll see if I can help you out, my man. Big up, Corey Boy. But look, we'll keep moving because we've got 2 guests left, and I do have to be off by 8:30. So let's get the next one on. And it is Dermatron from THFC Till I Die. Dermatron, how are you keeping, brother?
Not too bad, Dave. How are you this evening? And Winks has gone. Thank Beat for that.
I'm having a good day, Dermot. I'm having a good day. Look, I did say, you know, when Winks is gone, it will signal the end of accepting mediocrity at Tottenham. I do feel that in some regard. And look, at the end of the day, Dermot, as much as I don't like the guy, I do hope he goes out there and performs well because we want the cash.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he gets. I mean, I've got no evil feeling against Winks. I hope he goes over to Sampdoria and make a completely big success for himself over there. But he's just no good for us. So I'm just over the moon he's gone. Absolutely. And going on for what Paul said, and Paul was brilliant for a first on, and he's first on as well. He'd done a brilliant job. It's been a good transfer window. And I think we shouldn't look too negatively into it. Yeah, it started like a lion, and now it's sort of, we're going into like we're a lamb. But don't count out the Don. He will get a couple in between now and the transfer deadline day. And
let me ask you this. Do you think people have a right maybe to feel aggrieved? And look, we all know my thoughts on it, so don't put me in that category because I do think we've had a good window. But do you think that some people are the fans have a right to be aggrieved? Because if you look what Conte says, He wants 2 for every position. So do you think when they look at the squad, they're kind of like, well, we don't really have someone to back up the Dyer, probably do need another player in the forward areas. Do you think they're right to question the window?
I think everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I think going on with or this is not a good window, this is a bad window. We've got to be more constructive with our criticism. There's no point saying, oh, it's a bad window. Why is it a bad window? Why do you think it's a bad window? We have to be constructive, and we can all easily get onto this bandwagon of slating everything we do. Yeah, I know we haven't had it easy for years, but this is the start of a new era. Look, we've got 6 players in. We could end up with 8 or 9 new signings this transfer window. When's the last time we had that? So I think
last time we had 7 signings, actually, Dermot, was under Jose Mourinho. But for me, when you compare the signings, has it been a better window from that window? I would say yes.
I agree. I think it's been a great window from that. And I understand you're never going to please everyone. You're never going to please all the fan base because they're always going to have their own opinions. And that's right. They should have their own opinions. And that's what football is all around. But I think, to be fair, I mean, last season, as some people know, very much Levy out, shout and had my rants on Levy. But I think he's listened. He's starting to listen. I think he's starting to step away from the football side now. Not everything's perfect, but let's just call it a spade. He's listened to Conte. He's getting Conte what he wants. And I think I'm always prepared to sit in the fence to the end of the transfer window and then take it from there. And I think that's all we should do. Look, it isn't over. And I think if we can get 2 more players in, the centre back and the cam, I think that would be a fantastic window. It will move up another notch. But, I respect everyone's opinion.
But look, that's what it is. At the end of the day, Dermot. And I think that's the beauty of football in general. I think that's the beauty of all the fan channels. Not everybody agrees. Not everybody sees it through the same lenses. And I think it's great to have all these opinions. So, look, if people see it differently to me, no problem whatsoever. Like I said, it's the beauty of football. Everyone sees football through different eyes at the end of the day. And look, Dermot, we know how you feel, and we know how you feel about Tottenham's business. So, do you see us getting in 2 signings in the last couple of days? Which means, if you're looking at Conte's words today about 2 for every position, it relies on Gil and Tanganga probably being going out, but it also relies on us getting in their replacements first before we let them leave. Do you think we will get them done, and in what positions?
I think we will. I think we'll get another centre back in, and I think we'll get a cam in. I think we will. I think what Conte wants, Conte will get. And I don't think that it's come to a point now where he's not going to get what he wants. Levy knows Conte's the best manager we've had since Keith Birkinshaw, if not since Bill Nick. So let's be fair. Let's give him some credit. He's him and Paratici. Paratici for me has been a complete wizard.
Look, Action G was alluding to the work he's done earlier, Dermot. He put in all the players he's offloaded, and stuff like that. So what do you think of the job Paratici has done since he's got here?
I agree with you. He had to knock down
Sorry, Dermot. I need to throw some respect on his name. Don Paratici.
Yeah, the Don. the Don. Sounds like Fonz out of Happy Days. I know some people probably won't remember that, but as a kid, I used to love that program. He had to knock down what Hitchin done. Hitchin built a house. It's like Hitchin built a house on sand. It was never going to stand up. The Don has to come in. Paratici's come in. He's had to knock that down, put the foundations in, put the cement in, build the house properly, and he's had to do that. And what he's done, what's he been there a year and a bit now?
Yeah.
What he's done has been brilliant. It's been fantastic. Whoever thought we'd get Mr. Burger King out? I know it's on loan with an obligation to buy.
Yeah.
But the fecker scored a fucking great goal, excuse my language, the other day. Why did he not do that for us, the lazy git? But I think Paratici needs a lot more respect than what some people are giving him, because I think he's done a fantastic job, and fair play to him. And the Don, he's building for future. He's not building for now, he's building for the future. when Conte and Paratici do leave the club.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Corey Boy 85 says he's not a don if you're loaning players and not selling. Well, Corey, hopefully we'll have that debate on Monday when you come on, brother. Look, you know what I'm going to tell you. Look, at the end of the day, I'll be honest, I think that is more a reflection on the players' ability and the lack of money around Europe in general rather than Paratici's negotiating skills. But I'll be interested to hear your opinion, so make sure you get on Monday and give me it, my man. But look, Dermot, I mean, I am in a rush and I still have one to get to, and I've only got 12 minutes left. Yeah. So the least we can do, Dermotron, is let you plug your channel, my brother. What's coming up?
We're on tonight. We're on THFC, where I've got the lovely Queen Ellie. I've got the Godfather, Philip Brady. There's myself. There's Izan, Mark Cousins. We're doing the pre-match tonight at 9 o'clock, where we're going to do the pre-match of look over for Nottingham Forest, the news, the injury news, everything.
I didn't ask you about Forest, so I didn't ruin your pre-match, your preview.
Yeah, so we're doing that tonight, and we've got watch-alongs. We've got loads of new things coming up on the channel. Corey Boy, if you need to get hold of me, you can get hold of me on Twitter. We have a Twitter page called THFC Till I Die. You can get me there as well. And look, Dave, thanks very much for having me on. Enjoy the cheese room tonight. Great lads over there. And everyone, please get over and give us a like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 600, so let's get there before our first Champions League game.
Let's get it done before the preview tonight, everybody. You know, not only is it Dermotron, you know, you've also got the wonderful Ellie. You've also got the Godfather, Philip Brady over there. You know, Isan as well. You know, young Jacko is what I call him. Isan. So, guys, get over there. Plenty of great people involved. They're doing good work as well. So, get over there and smash subscribe on THFC Till I Die. But, Dermot, embrace me with it. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Love that. Dermotron, we'll see you soon, brother.
See you soon, brother. Take care.
Big up. Everybody give Dermotron a lot of love in the comments. But look, let's get the last guest on of the evening. Made his debut Monday. He's back again today. Let's get him on. It's Ryan Tristan. How you keeping, brother?
Yo, bruv, not too bad, fam.
No, good to have you. Good to have you. I mean, look, you know, plenty of things to talk about. What's your thoughts on Harry Winks on his way out to Sampdoria?
Thank God for that. It's the first thing. And even my little cat, my kitten, even he thinks it's a good thing being a Tottenham fan. Look. But
do you know what? Just quickly listening to you, and I've just seen this name. You remind me of Ben Kaufman an awful lot. I think you sound very, very similar. I'd love to see you do a show together. I really would. I think you're very similar. Benji, you will know what I mean by looking at him, and so will Bob in the chat and Ellie. Big up, big up. And that's a compliment.
Bob, if you're there.
Ben is a very well-dressed man and knows his coffee, so that's a compliment, by the way, Ryan. But sorry, interrupt you. Well, Weeks out to Sampdoria. You may be disappointed it's not for cash and it's only a loan deal.
I just want him out. I don't care if it. I would even pay for his fucking. I'd even pay for his his flight over to it. I don't want him in the club. And I know it sounded horrible when I got a bit of criticism the other day when I said that I'd wish he'd fly out of Earth, right? But it wasn't meant to be wishing death on him. It was just that I don't want him anywhere near the club. But yeah. So obviously that's the best news I've heard all day. So I'm happy about that. Now the draw for the Carabao Cup, happy with that. Absolutely happy with that.
Yeah.
Couldn't have asked for much more a rematch of on Sunday's game. So let's just hope we spank them twice in a couple of months.
Yeah. What do you think of the Champions League draw as well? I mean, I know you were happy with that.
Yeah, now I was going to get onto that. The Champions League draw, I'm not exactly happy with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like Frankfurt, and I like who else was in there? Not Marseille, the other ones.
No, Sporting. Young Marcus Edwards. Remember Marcus Edwards that came to our academy? He was dubbed the next Leo Messi. He's with them now.
Yeah, well, I don't mind Sporting and Frankfurt. Marseille, I'm just sketchy with them two, to be honest. Because, Riley, please Mind love. Sorry, I've got 2 cats. The one here and the one that's trying to get in shot. But yeah, so I'm not too happy with Marseille. I would have rather have taken Bayern Munich. Riley, move! So she wants to get.
Don't do a Kurt Zuma. It's not bothering me that much. You don't need to do a Kurt Zuma.
Right, yeah. But no, you know, but Marseille, I just don't know if that's a good. I'm just thinking that we'll get out of the group. Don't get me wrong, we'll get out of the group, but I just don't know if it's worth. I just really would like. When I saw Bayern Munich come out in City, I thought we were getting there as well.
Look, I'll be honest. I don't want any of them teams. I mean, there's plenty of times to get them in the knockout rounds, you know. And look, for me, I'm happy with what we got. But do you think it's a big plus that we don't really have too many far trips across Europe? Maybe like
because to be honest, right, compared to the obviously seeing yesterday the what games we've got coming up in between there, it's good for us, but it's going to be bad for teams like I think Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Because they've got further to go, and
I mean, Arsenal have to travel to Timbuktu and fucking back. So I mean, you know what I mean?
Fucking great. That's even better for us then, because they're go on then.
It's brilliant. Let me ask you this, Ryan. Ellie says, "I wonder if Jed Spence will be blooded for the League Cup game." Now, I'm going to transfer that to this game coming up because we've got West Ham midweek, and Forest Saturday at 4:30. So we've got West Ham then on Wednesday. Do you see Conte maybe making a few rotational changes to the starting lineup? And do you think he should possibly give Jed Spence a chance against the team he played for and helped get promoted last season?
Jed Spence, I would like to see play, but I would probably save him for some sort of like League Cup game for starters to see how he gets on there, because then it's an element of surprise.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I would wait for the element of surprise there, to be honest.
You know what? It would be nice to see Jed Spence be put on the bench, and even if he doesn't start, to come off and be given a few minutes. I think it's a game that he'd really be up for, and you'd probably see the best of him, in my opinion. And I think it would be nice to give him a few minutes. Whether it'll happen, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether...
I don't think it will, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Conte will want to change a winning starting lineup very early on in the season and start chopping and changing so early. So it'll be interesting to see what Conte does. But at the end of the day, Conte's more experienced than me. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But Ryan, my man, I've only got a couple of minutes.
Level 1 of football management, so I can obviously like kind of work out what Conte's probably thinking already beforehand, to be honest.
You're an expert on Football Manager.
Oh, well, no, actually, I actually done an entry level 1 in management in college. So I know a little bit of what I'm kind of thinking, what Conte's thinking. And if I was Conte, I probably wouldn't start Spence, and that would only just be because for the element of surprise in the League Cup. But,
100%.
But I mean, I think Jed Spence would probably get a chance in the League Cup, and I think he might even start against Frankfurt in the Champions League, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think with the Champions League, I think with the draw not being as difficult as it could, it might actually help us in terms of rotation, I think. You know, it'll be very interesting to see what Conte decides to do there, Ryan. But look, Ryan, I've only got another 2 minutes left, so what else do you want to talk about, buddy?
Well, what about the Malika Savic or whatever his name, you know, the one that Jack loves, the 2 itches in his name.
Yeah, Milinkovic Savic. Look, for me, I was holding out hope that when Lazio were interested in Reguillon, Spurs could maybe do some sort of deal there. But if I'm being honest, I don't see it happening. I don't think it will happen.
No, I can't now, to be honest. And I just think it's gonna take a bit of time. I think probably maybe January might be a better chance of getting him in. But I don't know. It's difficult because we really need to sort out that centre back position first. And I'd rather have a confident backline than an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, look, I'm the same, man. I think everybody knows where I stand with that. I'd rather shore up that back line now, rather than bringing another player in the forward areas.
But do you know what's worrying me, though, Dave? Do you know what's worrying me? Because Levy has seen that we've got an easy group, like you said yesterday. I don't think he'll bring in a centre-back. Do you know what? Sod's Law says, right, that we'll probably bring in another goalkeeper just for the fun of it, honest.
that would really send everyone into meltdown.
But that's what you can see happening. And then Levy penny pinching as well. He'll penny pinch it until like an hour before the end. I can see it happening. Penny pinching. Do you know what we should call him from now on as a nickname? Penny pinching Levy.
You remind me so much of Ben Kaufman, my man. You even have similar thoughts. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But look, Ryan, I do have to end off, my man. I really appreciate your time today. And if we do sign another goalkeeper this window, you know where you heard it first. Ryan, big yourself up. You and your cats, big yourself up, brother.
Yeah. Riley, you're getting a big up.
Give me a come on, you Spurs, before you go.
Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Ryan, hopefully I'll see you Monday on the fan show again, my brother.
You will do, mate. Cool.
Good.
Peace.
Peace, my man. Big yourself up. Everybody, give Ryan a lot of love in the comments. I don't know why, but signing another goalkeeper, that one really tickled me. I mean, could you imagine the breakdown we would all be having if we seen that happen? That really tickled me. But look, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this little short enough stream today. I'm sorry it couldn't be longer. Look, I've had a lot of things to do today. My niece is going in for an operation at the weekend, so just making sure she's all good and stuff like that as well. So guys, I'm on the cheese room at 9 if you want to see more of myself and Jack today, so follow us over there. But it's been great. I want to say a massive thank you to you guys for tuning in. I want to say a massive thank you to Paul, Dermatron, and Ryan for coming on as well. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who smashes the like, the subscribe, and help support this channel with super chats. You are all legends. Stay safe. If I don't see you on the cheese room, have a good Friday night, and I'll see you tomorrow for Stats with Jack at 9 a.m. As always, come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust.